What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Blab. I appreciate you stopping by. And without further ado, let's blab. Before we get into anything, I want to shout out Pokemaster Center. That is pokemastercenter.com/band-pokemon-card-list. We are going to be using this website to look at a couple of the banned artworks that have come out in the past from Pokemon. This is obviously inspired by the Shinji Kanda Seismitoad from Black Bolt, which there's some speculation that maybe that card could get banned, that they would shoot through the roof in terms of pricing because of the background having some flowers that sort of look like they were intended to look like a 666 or the mark of the beast, the mark of the devil scripture, the devil toad, whatever you want to say. So that got me thinking. I know a ton of these cards. I remember them getting banned. I remember watching videos about them getting banned, but I wanted to go through them again. So again, thank you to Pokemon Master Center. We will go through the artworks. I will tell you if I think it makes sense for them to get banned, if I think it's goofy, give you my analysis on it, and we'll move forward from there. So the first one we are going to look at is Jinx. As you can see in the original Japanese print and the subsequent, English prints, the major difference is the face color of Jinx. I think pretty clearly in the Japanese version, it does look like Jinx is doing blackface, having the exaggerated lip features. It's just not a good look. I do think that this card should be banned in this particular style, and that the purple face is much better, much less controversial. Almost looks like Grimace to a large degree. Um, so I get it. I get why this card was banned, and this is not the first time. Again, here for this sort of artwork, Jinx in the original Japanese artwork has the black facial features, where in the Sabrina's Jinx in English has the exact same picture, just with a purple face. Same thing down here. That is not to say, though, that Jinx has not been printed in English in this sort of I don't know, racist way. I don't really know how else to put that. Next, we're going to look at Grimmer. This is one of the best known banned cards. It does seem like Grimmer is peeking up at the skirt of whoever is walking by. You can see his little pinhole eyeballs as this person is walking by. Now, in my opinion, I do think that the eyes actually do kind of look past the skirt and are more looking up like at the face. I don't know. I don't recall seeing this card in person, so it's hard for me to kind of tell. I do, however, understand the implication that many can glean from this. So when at the end of the day, changing literally just two pinhole eyes, um, I think that it makes sense to make that change. Am I goofy for that? Maybe. But that's my personal opinion. I don't think that any of this sort of stuff, even if the implication is minute, should really be part of the game. If you want some weird stuff like that, you can, collect your One Piece mangas and, even some of the quote unquote waifu cards. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, like maybe this is just not the hobby for you. Maybe this is just not like the world for you. But next, this is, in my opinion, the most famous band card. I know I said this one is famous. This is probably the most famous. Both these cards incredibly sought after. What is the reason it got banned? So we can see in the Japanese release, we have Gengar chilling there on this kind of like stone platform, and then in the back we can see the tombstones. It looks like crosses and things like that. I have seen this card in person. This is probably one of my grail cards. I think the idea that it's banned, the idea that there's controversy around it, makes me want it more. I look at a card like this and I'm like, I don't need that banned card. I don't want to really be associated anything with that. I do think it's goofy that they banned this card. I do think it is more because the tombstones are crosses as opposed to the fact that they are actually tombstones. If you do see a better picture, I think there's kind of like ghostly figures above it too. I could be wrong. I haven't seen this card in a long, long time. It almost makes the English card, even though the hollow pattern is super cool, kind of goofy because you just have Gengar standing off to the right side of the card with like nothing in the background. So I think it's goofy that they, did this whole sort of banning of this card. But like I said, I do think it's more because of the inclusion of, a Christian symbol or, the cross itself, rather than the fact that it's a graveyard. Um, that's my opinion. Moving forward, Sabrina. I mean, we had Sabrina's Gengar. Let's get Sabrina's Gaze. This one is goofy. This is not someone giving you the middle finger, even though that is apparently why it got banned. There are a handful of other cards I could pick out pretty quickly where the motions of the hands of either Pokemon or trainers look like they're flipping you off. Um, I mean, this is literally a hand, and I don't know if people know this, but the middle finger on your hand is, the largest finger. It's the tallest one. So if you literally just put your hand up, it's going to have like I, I don't know. Maybe like the other fingers are like slightly bent. So like I don't know. I think this one's kind of goofy, but also a pretty famous banned card. Now let's move to the Koga. So, can you catch it? Yes, we have a swastika in the background. It is what it is. No, is this what do they call it here? The white power trick? I mean, I don't think so. If you know anything about the origin of the swastika, it is, a Buddhist Hindu symbol. There are actually incredible positive correlations with the swastika, much, much before the Third Reich and the Nazis took that symbol and bastardized it and made it into the greatest symbol of hate. Um, I just find it goofy that literally SS uniforms obviously showed the swastika, but they also had like skulls and whatnot. Like they would have a skull on their hat. It's like tell me you're the bad guy without telling me you're the bad guy. Okay, moving on from that, we have Misty's Tears. I mean, I don't know. Misty's kind of not even kind of Misty's shirtless here. Great. I mean, like I don't think I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, if I saw a card like this, I wouldn't even like think twice. It's like not what I'm instantly thinking about. But I get it that like people got that gutter mind, and like Misty's supposed to be like a child, so I do understand why it's banned. But I guess it's just like the folly of the human brain that like I don't know. But I do find that the new artwork with Squirtle wiping the tear is a great artwork. So whatever. Um, I don't. Is this was this the reprint of the card? Like, is this Misty's Tears because we have like a storm? I don't know. Is what it is. The next one is the slot machine card. Um, I don't know. This was controversial because parents didn't want their kids playing with something that resembled a slot machine. However, those parents were the ones buying their kids packs of cards to rip open, which is pretty much a slot machine. Um, I don't know what to tell you. I really could care less about these cards that have slot machines on them. Just kind of goofy. This one's kind of funny. The Moo Moo Milk card originally had this strange kind of artwork. I can't even really make out what's going on here. Clearly, like this is an eye and a mouth, and it's suckling upon the teat of a cow. Is this even a cow? Like I can't. I mean, I see the black and white spots. Is this the head? I don't know what's going on here. It is strange. I get why people would think it's strange. I don't want a card that has a cow's tit getting sucked. Not my mo. I like my milk out of the carton, out of the jug, not directly from the titty. Anyway, the new one we have just like the milk not cartons, but like those metal. I don't even know. We got Cleffa saying what's up. Do I get why it's banned? Yes. That's really all there is to it. Do I care that much? Not really. I don't know if I've ever even seen this card in person. So it is what it is. Again, another famous one. People were upset because Magmortar was aiming his arm, which is a weapon, a projectile weapon. I don't want to say the G word. I'm about to get demonetized. Just kidding. I'm not monetized anyway. He's aiming his gun arm at you. And in this one, he's like, on the one on the right, he's what, loading the chamber or like getting ready to. This one's goofy. This one's goofy Goober Central. But, back in the day, when did this come out? Well, the artworks were back in 2000. This one was censored in 2012. So wow, all the way in 2012 we were up in arms about this one. Kind of goofy. And then this one is kind of the most interesting in my opinion. If you look at other Pokemon, they do have some real world inspiration. Like if you look at Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, inspired by Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, the Chan and the Lee. There was a Kadabra card, the Dark Kadabra, that obviously has this like bent spoon or whatever, and Pokemon was sued over this. An individual, they were known for this trick where they would bend the spoon, and also the name Kadabra correlated in Japanese to a similar name of this individual. So it does seem like they were paying homage, sort of like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. They were paying homage to this Japanese individual. However, when the card release came out, you know how in English we'll have like Dark Kadabra? In Japanese, it actually translates to Evil Kadabra, right? So this individual did not enjoy having his name synonymous with this evil character in this kid's game, so he sued them, and this led to a halt in the card's production. And it does say, since the lawsuit, there has never been a new Kadabra card printed, which is pretty amazing, right? I mean, like, we have our Alakazam, we have our Abra, but it does seem like in this format, it's, unfortunately, we're not going to see it. And then this is more of a pack art issue. This one I had never really heard of. I'll read it directly from Pokemaster Center, and they say, if you have ever seen a Pokemon product made from Hong Kong, or made for Hong Kong audiences, you've noticed the logo isn't yellow, it's red. This is because yellow neon signs were used extensively in the advertising, or to advertise sexual services. Okay. Making the color yellow synonymous with prostitution. Okay. While there are some red logo Pokemon products made in English markets, the yellow logo was never produced for Chinese products. Man, if you literally have a color, like, I don't know. Do I even like talk on this? I mean, it is interesting. I have seen the Pokemon logo in red. I didn't know it was specifically for this reason. As it does say, there are Pokemon products made for English markets that do have the red Pokemon logo, so it's not like I'm new to seeing that logo. I, however, did not know the backstory about the sexual nature of yellow font. I mean, that is literally what it is. I think that is the end of this page. Like I said, shout out to Pokemon Master Center. I'm putting together a pretty good list and a pretty good blurb on each of these cards. Like I said, this is not an extensive list. This is just a quick look at some of the banned cards. Some of the major ones that I remember I wanted to reminisce on and make a video about. It is what it is. Will they ban the Seismitoad? I don't know. I hope they do. I have no dog in the fight. I own 0 Black Bolt. I own 0 Black... I own 0 White Flare. I own 0 Black Bolt. I own 0 Seismitoads. Let me think. I actually think I own 0 Shinji Kanda artwork. I think that's a fact. So yeah, I have no dog in the fight. I just like blabbing. So if that card gets banned, more to blab about. Anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.